Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today I'm actually releasing a new version of my master crafting sheet, version 3.4. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more informational videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. No mod 16 this time, and yeah, master crafting kinda is kicking the bucket as it seems in mod 16, but I have not forgotten the sheet. Actually, in the past couple of weeks I've been collaborating with some people to get a nice big upgrade in there, but we will get there in the usual way by walking through the changelog. Oh. Yeah, here it is. So here's the sheet, the readme. You will recognize this. There are no new tabs. And here's version 3.4. It's dated for today. The first item on here is the thing that I've been talking about in the intro. I've been working on the Russian translation of the sheet. The Russian translation is something that I could have never done without help. All the other languages I did by myself, by just changing the language of the file, of the game, I mean. But Russian doesn't type so easily on a Western keyboard. So that would have been months of work doing it alone. Luckily, I had someone who connected me with the Russian community, v3.4, and they helped me tremendously by making a complete translation of the sheet. You can see it here, Russian. And now everything is translated also in the recipes. Don't look at this. This is something I get to in a second. So everything now is translated, and everything should be correctly because it's done by people who know what they're doing in Russian, that is. The next item, the Lichstone enamel recipe fixed. I got a tip from Saucyflash that the Lichstone enamel recipe was wrong. Lichstone enamel. I'm not sure anymore what it was. That's not the correct recipe. Is it here? No. I need to find it in search within selection. Ah, here it is. I think this was also Lichstone enamel or something like that. I made some kind of mistake like that. So this is fixed now. It should be correct now. I did double check it, but to be honest, it's been a while since I did this. So I'm not 100% sure anymore what went wrong here, but I fixed it. Next up, yeah, these have been active for a while, but there's been a rock salt nerf and a quicksilver nerf after the charcoal nerfs. So rock salt now is 0.2 guild marks in the cover, and quicksilver is the same. So this is now correctly processed in the sheet. Yeah, it is what it is. Next up, the South Sea Commission translations. These were something that were not translated properly in the past for all languages. It was a lot of work to find all these separate items, and I actually got some help from a community moderator, Persimer, the French community moderator, I think he is. He helped me with the translation, so thanks a lot for that. They should now be translated correctly. So if I set it to French, we got all nice French and other languages as well. He gave me all the languages, so this is now correct. Let's set it back to English. Next up, guild mark to gold column. This has kind of relation with the video I made recently about how to make guild marks with gold. Guild marks with gold. I have this column here in the sheet, and you can find out if you buy items with gold. So Nerium you can buy with gold. It costs you 141 copper to buy it, and it gives 1.6 guild marks in the coffer. So that gives 113 guild marks per gold invested. This is a little bit of a complicated one to find out, but you can go here to the 800 and then you get to the two, what the video was about, copper ore and well water. They cost 5 copper to buy, which means you can buy 2,000 of these for 1 gold. They are 0.4 guild marks each, so for 2,000 you can get 800 guild marks, so it's 800 guild marks per gold invested. As you can see also, there are plenty of different options in case these two items get nerfed. So if the devs really want to fix this, this whole thing of making gold with guild marks, if they want to address this, they need to do something more substantial than just nerfing this value down. But yeah, it's now in the sheet. If you want to find which items are good for this, it's in there. Next up, retainer exchange columns. I have to think what I did here. The retainer exchange columns from the resource stuff. Oh yeah, in the resources tab we had these columns as well. They were nice when mod 15 launched because a lot of people had still credits to exchange stuff. I actually collapsed this in the default version. I think in the free version of the sheet, the locked version in Excel, you cannot, how do you call that? You cannot show these columns anymore. But for some reason, LibreOffice, which is also supported, does allow this. So I don't know why, but this works a little bit different in Excel. If the sheet is locked, you cannot expand this thing anymore. Anyway, by default, I locked it because most people will have used their credits by now. And nothing changed there anyway, so if you need to find those values again, you can look in a previous version of the file. But yeah, I could have also just removed them, but I'm just leaving them in there for completeness. Next up, I fine-tuned the script. So if you change the language now, and this is why the recipes were not working properly. If you change the language now, you will see everywhere here is NA, 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 which means that, yeah, some things are not correct anymore. The artisans here are okay because they have values, but as you can see, the tools now do not compute anymore. And the thing is, I removed from the script on language change that these tools are automatically translated by the sheet. There were some issues in here that sometimes translating and changing the language took forever. It actually never finished. So in order to avoid that, now the script on language change only changes these top names. The rest of the language is all done in the Excel sheet itself, not by the script. So if you want to fix these NAs and fix the recipes, you have to go through these translations manually. One thing to note here, if you use Russian, also the artisans will have incorrect names because in Russian actually the names are different. Yeah, in the Russian language the artisans have a different name. So let's set it to French. Now everything is okay and the recipes will show normal values instead of an A. Next up, updated Wolfsbane translation in Italian. I think Wolfsbane had a wrong translation before. Wolfsbane, where is it? I think it was called Belladonna as well, Wolfsbane, and now it's called Aconito. So they actually fixed this in the game, and I followed the game by giving this the correct translation as well. The last one, Stained Spruce Bookcase, also I followed the game here, so the game made a new translation for this bookcase, and I updated according to the game. Maybe some things are still behind from the game. There are still mistakes in translations that I did find. So here the relic iron ingot is actually a Titan steel ingot in French for some reason. So this is exactly the same as the, where is it? Titan steel ingot, lingot d'acier de titan. Lingot d'acier de titan. This is exactly the same as the Titan steel ingot, so this is wrong. And there are a couple more. So maybe they are fixed in the meantime. I did report it to the devs, but I did not check yet for that. Of course, as always, this version will be downloadable on my Patreon page for free. The link to it is in the description down below. For now, I will not be making a Google Docs version because, once again, it is very limited in Google Docs. You need to have your own version so you can edit values for your platform and configure it for yourself based on which artisans you have, etc., etc. This won't be the last version of the sheet. It will be updated where necessary for bugs or minor fixes to language, as I said, but it could be a while until it really receives a big new overhaul. As I said at the start, Masterwork is a little bit dead in mod 16. Who knows, mod 17 will bring us a nice big update to Masterwork, and then of course I will be there for you guys and put all the recipes in there again. That's it for this time. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.